I equipped Tabula for this build, and no cluster and no unique jewels are used. This is low cost build, you can clear 16 tier maps and 8A conquerors easy. Upgrade your Tabula to 6 link rare when you have budget. I equipped Tabula for this build, and no cluster and no unique jewels are used. This is low cost build, you can clear 16 tier maps and 8A conquerors easy. Upgrade your Tabula to 6 link rare when you have budget. Every build has pros and cons, it may or may not be fun depending on one's personal taste. Usually, very popular builds in the league get nerfed next league, but the Animate Weapon is not a very popular build yet, so I think it is less likely to get nerfed next league. This build deal high damage although it is low cost. It can be a good league starter. This build is good for making money for early stage in the league, clearing 14 to 16 tier maps although it is low cost, and it is a beginner friendly build. I looked into the Animate Weapon skill gem description. I figured out there are 2 ways to summon animate weapons. First way, animated weapons can be summoned by an animated guardian. Second, animate weapons can be summoned directly by the skill gem. It was my first time trying the Animate Weapon build. It was interesting. It looked like animate weapons summoned by the animate guardian required the unique armor, chains of command. I tried the build with the chains of command, but there was one option: you cannot have non-animated minions, which means you can only summon animate weapons and an animate guardian. I didn't like that part, so I moved on to second way to summon animate weapons. I tried the classic way to summon animate weapons using a skill gem. This was simple and straightforward, so I decided to try it with the second way. I bought an animate weapon skill gem. You can buy one level 20 quality 20 cheaper with corrupted option. Animate weapons float on the ground. They were less affected by the terrain. More than anything, damage seemed to be very good although it cost a small amount of money. Especially, it was good for a boss battle. Let's take a look into the skill gem description. It says animates a melee weapon item, or lingering blade to fight by your side. First method to summon animate weapons is animating a melee weapon of an animate guardian, and second method is using blade gems such as Bladefall or ethereal knives to summon them. I chose the second method because it was simple and straightforward. The knife is stuck in the ground when you use a Bladefall skill. You can simply summon them using an animate weapon skill. The point of caution is that weapons disappear after a certain period of time. Don't forget to summon them often while mapping. Of animate weapon was real good. Even if enemies were far away from the player, animate weapons went after them and cleared everything. Keep the distance from the enemies in times of crisis or boss battle. Animate weapons will eliminate them for you. I equipped Tabula to show you this is low cost build. Get a 6 link armor when you have budget. Animate weapons deal physical damage, and impale setting is a good way to boost damage. You have to keep summoning animate weapons while mapping. You can summon 17 animate weapons equipping Cold Iron Point. You can summon 15 of them without Cold Iron Point. You will be busy summoning 17 of them. Damage of 17 animate weapons were great when dealing with bosses although it was low cost. Keeping summoning animate weapons makes you busy while mapping. It can be a disadvantage to someone who doesn't like to keep pressing buttons, but it can be an advantage to someone who like to keep pressing buttons because it is less boring. It is up to your play style. You get the bone armor from Ascendancy. It is your main defense skill. Place it on the left click button on your mouse. It auto casts while moving. It is the convocation skill. Use it as often as possible. It is good for minions survivability. Fresh offering will increase minions damage. Use Bladefall to summon your animate weapons. It is the animate weapon skill. Use it to summon blades on the ground. Animate weapons require some mana to get summoned, so get some intelligence from items, and I got some mana regeneration from the passive nodes. It is Vol Haste. Use only Vol skill for the boss battle, it will boost damage of your minions. When you deal with the boss, keep some distance from it, your animate weapons will clear everything. Keep some distance from your enemies and go circle around them. Avoid the physical reflection map mode since animate weapon deal physical damage.
Master of the Arena, you can find him on a map under influence of Warlord. Hold a key on the corpses to find his name and summon him. He applies a buff to nearby allies that grants increased attack movement and cast speed. Arena masters bang their shield in your hideout. It might be a little noisy, depends on your sensibility. Carnage grants frenzy charge. Host chieftains grants power charges. Both can be obtained at Act 7, Ashen Fields. Eventually, minions deal more damage because of frenzy and power charges. Tabula Rasa. It is 6-linked and cheap. You can use any color for your skill gems. Use it until you make some currency. A rare 6-link armor. Recommended options: life armor, res.
Cold Iron Point. Core option is +3 to level of all physical spell skill gems. Magna Eclipsis, +2 to level of socketed gems, triggers level 20 elemental aegis when equipped. It is good for your defense. What is elemental aegis? Elemental damage from hits is taken from the aegis before your life or energy shield. Aegis can take 1000 elemental damage. If you want to deal more damage rather than having some defense, go with 2x Cold Iron Point. Bone Helmet low cost. Base, minions deal 15 to 20% increased damage, life, res. Bone Helmet mid to high cost. Recommended options are +2 or +3 to level of socketed minion gems. Socketed gems are supported by level #minion life, res, life. Rare Galves, life, res, stats, dex, prefix crafting, minions deal #% increased damage. Rare Boots, life, res, stats, dex, movement speed. Use Rare Belt then, upgrade to Stygian Vice. It has 1 abyssal socket, life, res, stats, dex. Recommended allocation: Grave Intentions or Ravenous Horde. Rare Amulet, life resistance stats. The Jinx Juju. Strength, dexterity, intelligence, and chaos resistance are increased. 10% of damage from hits is taken from your Spectre's life before you. A player's survivability goes up. Equip Ring 1 to the left. Profane Proxy Unset Ring. Profane Proxy Unset Ring. You must equip it to left ring slot. It has a socket to use a skill gem, left ring slot. Your Chilling Skitterbits aura applies socketed Hex Curse instead. Your Shocking Skitterbits aura applies shocking to enemies. Why we equip it to left ring slot? We can deal more damage to enemies that are shocked. Your Shocking Skitterbits aura applies shocking to enemies. Eventually we deal more damage to enemies. Use vulnerability in the socket. It curses targets, causing them to take increased physical damage. Try to avoid these map mods for your mental health. Life generation penalty, reflected physical damage penalty, elemental weakness penalty, temporal chains penalty. You can clear the reflected elemental damage map mode.